Something remarkable is happening in Nigeria's northwest, and for the first time in a long while, the balance of power is visibly shifting. What once felt like an endless nightmare is beginning to crack. The same forests that sheltered fear, lawlessness, and terror are now echoing with panic. The bandits who rode the shadows for years are no longer boasting. They are pleading. This is not rumor. It is not exaggeration. Verified intelligence emerging from Zamfara confirms a dramatic reversal. Armed groups that once dictated terms to communities are now sending distress signals. They are calling for ceasefires. They are begging for dialogue. And the reason is painfully clear: the pressure has become unbearable. In the last 48 hours alone, the situation has escalated in ways rarely seen. Key bandit strongholds hidden deep inside Zamfara's forest have been systematically dismantled. Camps that once served as operational hubs in places like Taif and Maru are gone, reduced to rubble. What changed is not just intensity, but strategy. The military is no longer reacting. It is hunting. Under the renewed offensive, the Nigerian Air Force has moved beyond symbolic strikes. Precision operations are now targeting the very lifelines that kept these groups alive. Food storage points, fuel routes, ammunition dumps. When those disappear, bravado evaporates. Even the most hardened fighters begin to calculate survival. This sudden desperation did not emerge in isolation. Reports reveal that ground forces had already weakened key enclaves weeks earlier, recovering weapons, motorcycles, and communication tools. But the real shift came from the air. When fighters can no longer move freely, hide comfortably, or resupply quietly, fear sets in. And fear changes behavior. Nowhere is this more evident than in the behavior of notorious bandit leaders. For years, figures like Bello Turji thrived on intimidation. Videos of armed convoys and open defiance were routine. That tone has vanished. Recently, Turji released footage denying allegations of financial deals with authorities, yet he admitted that peace discussions had occurred. That admission alone speaks volumes. When a man who once flaunted power feels compelled to explain himself, the message is clear: the walls are closing in. This is not confidence. This is damage control. Pressure has replaced arrogance. But this story is not simply about military success. It is also about difficult truths. While the gains are undeniable, the cost of this conflict cannot be ignored. There have been tragic moments when intelligence failures led to innocent lives being lost. Vigilante groups protecting their communities have been mistakenly caught in the crossfire. These incidents leave scars that do not fade easily. Warfare in forest and populated areas is brutal and unforgiving. Bandits deliberately embed themselves among civilians, turning villages into shields. This makes every operation a moral test as much as a tactical one. While regret and investigations follow mistakes, the pain remains real for those affected. This reality is why recent bandit claims should be treated with caution. Their sudden concern for civilian lives rings hollow to many observers. Analysts argue that these appeals are not about peace, but survival. Buying time. Regrouping. Escaping annihilation. The government now faces a defining moment. The choice is no longer theoretical. Negotiation offers an exit, but at the cost of public trust. Continuing the offensive promises decisive results, but carries risks of further collateral damage. Either path reshapes the future. Signals from the center of power suggest a hardened stance. The message has been consistent: justice before compromise. After years of insecurity, patience has worn thin. The recent intensity of operations suggests that hesitation is no longer an option. The objective appears clear: end the threat, not manage it. As pressure mounts in Zamfara, consequences ripple outward. Fighters attempting to flee into neighboring states have been intercepted. Blocking forces have anticipated escape routes. In coordinated operations, ground troops and intelligence units have ambushed retreating groups, delivering devastating blows. This combination of aerial dominance and ground containment is proving effective. The result is a shrinking battlefield. Safe havens are disappearing. Movement is restricted. Every option available to these groups is closing, one by one. In response, bandits have begun releasing captives. Hundreds have been freed as supposed gestures of goodwill. But for victims who lost loved ones, livelihoods, and years of peace, gestures are not enough. Farmers displaced from their land, families drained by ransom payments, and communities shattered by violence are demanding accountability. This is the emotional heart of the dilemma. Can peace exist without justice? Can wounds heal if crimes go unanswered? These questions now define the next phase of the conflict. The coming days will be critical. Momentum is on the side of the state, but history shows that moments like this determine outcomes. A pause could allow recovery. Sustained pressure could deliver final resolution. One truth, however, is undeniable. The era of bandits ruling entire regions with impunity is ending. The forests no longer belong to them. The fear they once inspired is being replaced by panic. And for the first time in years, the sound that dominates the skies is not silence, but jets closing in on fugitives with nowhere left to run.